Hello, welcome into another video. We have an interesting one for you today. Trent and I decided to jam some slightly off meta decks. These are not things that are necessarily widely represented, but we thought they were sweet. So yeah, we didn't know what each other were playing going into the game, just that we weren't playing like tier 1 decks necessarily. I'm on 4-color Polymorph, and Trent's playing I think it was just Abzan Elves, but like a kind of strictly Elves shell green combo deck. And yeah, the match turned out pretty sweet, so we figured we'd post it here. Please let us know if you want to see more of either of these decks. We had a great time playing them, and would happily play them in longer form content. But today it's just a quick one, single match. I really hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, everything like that. And without further ado, I'll get to the deck techs and then the gameplay.
All right, so here's my deck tech for the black-green elves deck that I'll be playing against Liam. Uh, it is very, very similar to a Craterhoof deck, but you are replacing some of the sort of bigger payoff cards with like smaller elves that help you become explosive, but also gain a lot of inevitability. So we're still playing Grist because it's very, very powerful, and Atraxa and Craterhoof are part of our natural order package. But then we're playing like a ton of elves that you wouldn't see played in sort of a regular Craterhoof shell. Things like Birchlore Rangers, Dionys Elvish Archruid is pretty sweet, Dwynen's Elite, etc. But generally speaking, this is very similar to a lot of other mana elf decks. You want to play an elf on turn one, accelerate your mana until you get to a point where you can cast one of these larger spells like the Craterhoof or the Atraxa, or pay mana into things like Azuri's second ability, etc. We are also playing a combo which I like. A big problem with Craterhoof is that if your opponent gets to a certain point, it can actually just be really hard to win. Like if they gain a lot of life, for example, like they don't have to gain infinite, but if your opponent gains like 200 life against Craterhoof, like that can actually be pretty challenging to fight through. So this deck is playing, getting to play Hazel's Brewmaster combo. So the way this combo works is you play a Hazel's Brewmaster. When it enters, you exile a card and make a food token that has all activated abilities of that card. So the combo is Hazel's Brewmaster plus Devoted Druid, which is right here. You make a food token that has the ability to put a -1/-1 counter on it to untap it, but it also taps for a mana. So if you play Hazel's Brewmaster and you exile Devoted Druid, you get a food token that makes a green mana whenever you tap it, and then can take a -1/-1 counter to untap it. But because it's not a creature, it doesn't die. So you Brewmaster, target your Devoted Druid, make a food token, and then you make infinite mana. And then with that infinite mana, you can take one of the many ways of searching your library to ultimately find Walking Ballista, or to cast a Craterhoof Behemoth from your hand, or what have you, and that ends the game. So I really like that you have access to this combo in this like elf slash like Craterhoof list. I think that makes it have a lot of inevitability. And since you're already playing a lot of creature tutors, there are games where you'll be able to say, play Survival of the Fittest, tutor for your Devoted Druid, bin your Devoted Druid to get the Brewmaster, then the Brewmaster sets up lethal the next turn. We're also still playing Draga Tree Speaker in this list. We've cut these from regular hoof lists for the most part. It's a little too slow, but I think the fact that this is an elf is pretty important, so it still makes it in. A personal favorite of mine for the Pauper enjoyers, Timberwatch Elf. This card is very unassuming, and it takes a little while to get going, but in sort of board stall situations, this card is a total house. Tapping to give a creature XX, where X is the number of elves you have, is very strong. A couple of other bangers, we get to play Shaman of the Pack and Shaman of the Pack 2, which is Skemfar Shadow Sage. They both have pretty similar text boxes, a ton of tutors, etc. more tutors in our instance and sorcery slot. We have a couple of pieces of interaction, but for the most part, we're just playing tutors. Uh, and then Skull Clamp is obviously good. Agatha's Soul Cauldron really good in this deck too. Does the Devoted Druid thing. There are a couple of other ways to use it that are pretty powerful. Sylvan Library. I personally dislike this card a lot. I don't love Sylvan. I think it's a user error problem. Um, so I'm trying it out, but I'm certain that I won't like it. um, and then the rest is just basic land base. Cavern on Elf, hell yeah. Gaia's Cradle, the goat. Um, Before we head into the games, though, I want to give a shout out to my opponent from Monday Night Highlander a couple weeks ago. I played against them, and they were playing this deck, and it was really cool. So I wanted to give it a try. But thanks for the inspiration, and thanks for the deck list. Comment down below if you're my opponent. It was a pleasure playing you, and hopefully you and the team from I believe you're from Snohomish can come hang out again.
Hey, welcome into my deck tech for 4-color Polymorph. This is a sweet deck that I've been kind of working on the last couple of weeks. The inspiration for me for playing this deck is that I've kind of felt like if you want to play a controlling deck of some variety, you really need to have some kind of escape valve, and I've been thinking about what those can kind of look like for a little while now. So I've been working on a couple of different things. One is green-based control decks with natural order as a way to kind of turn the corner and win the game quickly, and this was another direction I went. This deck is definitely leaning more into being a combo deck than it is doing any kind of controlling things, but the core of having a bunch of interactive cards is definitely here. So let's start by talking about the combo and how you support the combo, and then I'll just talk about how the rest of the deck kind of comes together around that. So Polymorph is a kind of interesting combo. It only really asks one thing of you, which is that you don't put small, bad creatures into your deck, because Polymorph says destroy target creature, it can't be regenerated. Very relevant text these days. And then you reveal cards from the person who, its controller reveals cards until you reveal a new creature, and you put that one on the battlefield. So the idea is you create a Fable of the Mirror Breaker token, you polymorph it, it turns into an Atraxa or an Emrakul, and then you kill them with the big creature. So for starters, that means you can't play regular creatures, you have to play creature tokens. So the way that we support that is by having really quite a big pile of token generators. Most of them are just good cards that happen to also make tokens, like Fourth Year Lingus. Secure the Waste is maybe the worst example. That one is just an instant speed token generator that's flexible. That's why I like that one. But Occult Epiphany, this one does some filtering. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, good card. Blot Out the Sky is flexible and it's fine, especially if you get up a lot of mana. Shark Typhoon, very reasonable, makes a token uncounterably. Fey Bloom Trick is maybe a little bit medium, but it does make 2 tokens and generates you some tempo. And then my favorite of the token generator cards, you've got Deploy to Pose, which is a tempo card if you have to cast it on the cheap side, but then it makes 2 1/1s on the other side, which is pretty decent, I think. To have the Wandering Emperor, I have Shorakai, I have Glimmer Burst, so I have a decent amount of token generators. And I also have Ink Shield, my favorite card from this deck. This one is basically 5 mana win the game if they attack with any reasonable size attack, and you get to get this one off. So this is prevent all damage that we dealt to you this turn, and then for each 1 damage prevented, create a 2/1 white flying black-white Inkling creature token with flying. So this one is really sick, and I think more people should be playing this card broadly. Basically, if you get to block an attack of 6 or more power, I think you're almost certainly winning the game most of the time. And obviously there are edge cases, but they're not even really edge cases, but there are cases where you just get attacked for 10, you Ink Shield it, you attack them for 20 on the crackback. That happens way more often than you would think. So yeah, so that's the token generators, and then there are now 6 pretty good polymorphs. Polymorph, Reality Scramble, Transmogrify, Indomitable Creativity, Luca, Coppercoat, Outcast, and Chaos Mutation. These all do slightly different things. Polymorph and Transmogrify are basically the same. Reality Scramble has Retrace and can technically hit enchantments or artifacts, I guess. For me, that's not especially relevant. You could like try to high roll upgrading your Fable of the Mirror Breaker into a Shark Typhoon, but um, I wouldn't advise it. I think there is another enchantment in the deck that makes it a bit awkward. Maybe there isn't. Anyway, so there's that. You can do like try and high roll your clue token into Shorakai. That's a thing you could do. You might hit staff though. Um, and then like creativity can target more than one thing, which is very powerful. If you get to put like 2 large creatures into play, you're almost never losing. Chaos Mutation is an instant, which is pretty huge, and then it also says any. So it says exile any number of target creatures controlled by different players, so you can technically hit one of your opponents too if you want. But the big thing about this is this polymorphs in a way that gets around removal spells, which is the one issue this deck runs into, is that it's a combo deck that is bad against spot removal, which that's not optimal, I will be honest. And Chaos Mutation gets around the spots where you feel like you're like definitely walking into spot removal. So other than that, tying the room together, we've got a small point spread of Demonic Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Intuition, Gifts Ungiven, Treasure Cruise, and Dig Through Time, and Fourth Lingus. The Intuition and Gifts are being paired with this on Burial Rites as like another way to get a big creature into play. If you just start playing Drago, it's very threatening to be able to do that. And then I'm just playing a pile of cantrips and cheap removal. So I've got the good white removal spells and Path to Exile. I've got the good black removal spells. I've got the good red removal spells. Lots of kind of like cheap 1 mana interaction. Some counter spells, although less than I think you might necessarily expect, but just enough to keep people honest, I think was the goal. And then you've got a few other tutors and cantrip effects, like, you've got like Stock Up and Solve the Equation, Brain Surge to help draw you into some things. But other than that, that's kind of everything that's going on with this deck. You're playing the first couple of turns as a reactive deck, just killing what your opponent does or trying to interact with their game plan. And then on turns 3 and 4 and 5, you're looking to kind of like turn the corner and threaten to end the game. This deck is really sweet. I think it's decent for sure. I've been playing it against players in the Canadian Highlander Discord a decent amount, and it's acquitted itself reasonably there. So I decided to play it in a video with one of the guys. So yeah, I hope you enjoy watching some Canadian Highlander Polymorph. Okay, I am the die roll winner. I'm going to move my camera so you can see my hand. I will choose to play first and open on an unkeepable 1-lander, unfortunately. Okay, so pretty easy mulligan here. Ooh, okay, this one looks sweet. I like this hand a lot. We've got I kind of want to keep Ink Shield, but I don't know what Trent's playing. We kind of agreed we're both playing like not like tier 1 meta decks, but decks that are sort of known. I think that might be a bit of an exaggeration for my deck, but okay, I'm going to keep this. This is a reasonable hand, and then I have to decide whether I'm going to put back Shorakai or if I'm going to put back Ink Shield. If Trent's deck is aggressive, I'm happier with Ink Shield. If Trent's deck is like kind of mid-rangey and controlling Shorakai is better, I'm going to put back the Ink Shield as much as it pains me. It's just, it costs 5 instead of 4. I think that's got to be the deciding factor.
So Liam has no idea what I'm on, and vice versa. But I recently was playing at Monday Night Highlander, and I played against an opponent who played this really cool Elves deck against me. I really liked it a lot. I thought it was very interesting. It is really like reminiscent of Hoof in a lot of ways. I'm going to keep this. But it plays Hazel's Brewmaster combo with Devoted Druid and a bunch of different tutors. It has like Natural Order for Atraxa and Craterhoof. So I thought it was really cool. So I'm just going to try it out. Shout out to my opponent, who I do not remember their online name, and I'm not willing to dox their real name. So if you're my opponent, toss it down in the comments. It was really fun playing you. And I know you and a bunch of homies came out to Victoria to come jam Lander, and that was super sweet. So hopefully we'll see you again at some point.
Hello.
Hello, I'm going to keep.
Yes, I also kept, but it took me a rather long time to work out which card I was putting back. I wish it was a 7.
Oh, I see.
I'll keep that one.
I've got
Chills, they're multiplying.
Oh, I've got a good one
Sorry.
coming. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh,
Naming.
Cavern of Souls.
Boom.
Oh
It's
no.
happening.
Okay,
You can't
I
daze this one.
I regret I regret my bottom choice. I regret which card I put
It's
on the
just like
bottom.
got rid of Fatal Push or something. Like,
All right. Well, I'm gonna bolt the bird
yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've been
or
there. I've been there.
slash the druid, as the case may be.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm gonna play this forest, and then I'm gonna tap my forest and my cavern to play this uncounterable fauna shaman.
Oh, well, now I wish I had my flame slash back.
Or the bottom card of your deck.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was a good draw. Um. Okay, I will crack this flooded strand and get. I guess I'm just getting tundra. Uh, I will. This time I will bolt the shaman,
Oh no!
drawing
Four
the
color.
the removal pile half of my
Oh,
deck.
Staff of the Storyteller. That's really
Yeah. See, my
interesting.
deck is doing cool things. There's fun stuff going on.
It's okay though. I've got the staff covered.
Oh no, getting like reclamation saged.
Oh yeah, I'm hitting you with the big Rex Sage. It's happening.
You know, it's funny. Like, obviously, you've been playing Lander the whole time, but I had to like I stepped away for a little while, and I wasn't playing as much. And I remember when I came back, and people were like, "Oh yeah, Reclamation Sage, unplayable card. Don't put it in your deck." And I was like, clutching at my pearls, like,
Yeah, it has definitely fallen off, but I mean, like, I don't know. It's good
looks good
here.
here.
Like,
Yeah. Yep.
like you paid 2 mana
I
for a 1/1 flyer. I guess I played 3 mana for a 2/1, but you know that's an exchange I'll take. I think.
fair enough. Well, I am glad that the Reclamation Sage is out of your hand for when I play this one.
Holy
Shorikai Genesis Engine.
Shorikai!
Yeah,
What
this one
the
getting Reclamation
hell?
Saged would be somewhat disastrous, but
Shorikai is dope. That's sweet.
I really like this card. Yeah,
Yeah, that card is sick.
I think it's a little slow a lot of the time, but
Okay, yeah,
it's
yeah, I could see that. Maybe just a
but
little
like
too.
I don't know. It's like it feels like if you get to activate it like even once, that like your win percent in the game just like it goes up by like 10%, even if you only activate it the one time or something. Like it's
Totally. All right,
card
so
is card is bananas.
fetch this Verdant Catacombs, get a Bayou, and cast this Allosaurus Shepherd
Oh
with
god.
Cavern of Souls, so you can't counter anything ever.
Can't counter the.
Survival.
I mean, it already has uncounterable though.
I think I'm supposed to do this now. I'm gonna cast this Vamp Tutor.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I want to do it now because I don't want you to counter it. Because you can't counter the spell I'm getting off of it. So,
Sure. Yeah, because it's a creature.
well, it's a green spell.
It's a green spell.
Allosaurus
Right?
Shepherd's his green spell. So it could be a creature, it could be
Holy.
anything else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Well, I'm gonna activate my Shorikai.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, definitely where we're starting here. Drawing some cards. Oh man. Uh. Huh. Interesting. Guess I'm doing this. I'm gonna play this Rogran Triome, and then I will cast Storm Chaser's Talent.
Oh my, this deck is so sick.
And I think I'm just not attacking. That is not the way this game is gonna end. I don't think.
I've
Now I
got.
think I survive a natural order, which is what I assume you went and got. Yeah.
It made
So
the
I'm not
most
just.
sense to me.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not like killing you with hoof. I'm just getting Atraxa, I think. But
Yeah. That's what I figured too. That this was like an Atraxa NO, and I just needed to set up for future turns.
the Atraxa I know here is pretty good. Okay, well I'll take this sorcery. I think I just want this land.
Do you want to say which ones you're taking?
Forest, Green Sun Zenith. Um
Hazel's Brewmaster. Okay, yeah, this deck is sick.
Yeah. So I was telling the in our mulligan decisions, I was telling the audience that I played against this deck at Monday Night Highlander, and I was like, "This is sick. It's like Elves, but you play Hazel's combo with a bunch of like, it plays like Vamp, and I think it plays DT as well. I'm not sure though. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm taking Green Sun's Forest, and I think I'm supposed to take Brewmaster, because I think that I don't know if that wins me the game though. If I Brewmaster and I discard a card to survival, I can then discard to survival again and make infinite mana, but then I don't have any way of actually winning the game. But I don't think any of these other creatures really do anything, so. I know when I was playing against my opponent, they said that they were actually considering cutting Atraxa because a lot of the time they Atraxa and they only get like 2 or 3 cards just because you're playing so many of the same type. Like you're playing,
Yeah.
45 creatures or whatever.
But like, what would you play instead? I guess is like the consideration, right?
Maybe it's like a Primeval Titan angle and you play like,
Oh,
I
and you
don't
play Depth
know.
Stage.
Yeah, but
I mean, to be fair,
would
if you
that be
got
better
Death
here?
Stage
Like, I don't
here,
think that would be
yeah, I don't
better.
know. Yeah, I think Atraxa is very good. The new Ureni from Tarkir Dragonstorm would have been good here. You could just like killed
Oh,
all
wait,
my killed all my creatures, put a large creature in play that would kill me in 2 turns. That would be like basically impossible to kill.
definitely. I actually think I win next turn now that I think about it because I took Green Suns, so. If you don't have anything, I think I have you.
Uh, Maybe I have something.
That's true. You could have something. Because I think I survival for the devoted druid, and then I
Yep.
untap survival away devoted druid, play Hazels, make infinite mana. Green Suns get something. Okay, this makes life easy. So we'll survival away this devoted druid. Is there anything I can get that's actually relevant here? Is the question. Like, relevant to stopping you from stopping me comboing. I guess I could get Disciple of Freyalise as a land, if that matters. I guess you can technically counter this Hazel's Brewmaster because it's not uncounterable. It's not
Mm-hmm.
green. So maybe there's something to be said about just getting a green card and casting that. Like, if I just get, like, Undermountain Adventurer, are you kind of malding, you know? Like, I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because if you counter my Hazel's Brewmaster, I'm actually, like, I could just have this thing over your head the whole game, right? Like, maybe that's where I want to be. Yeah, let's get this Undermountain Adventurer.
Fair enough.
Seems reasonable to
Uh,
me.
yep. I do not have a counterspell.
Well, it doesn't matter, because I have Allosaurus Shepherd.
Yeah.
I love elves.
I know. It's
Although,
such a sweet way
I,
to play the deck.
I do have two non-elves in play right now. Let's grab this forest. Played it's the land for the turn. Um, I guess I'm just getting in.
Man, you talked yourself out of going for hoof, which was correct, but not for the reason that you were thinking.
Going for hoof? Oh, you mean the
Like
brewmaster?
the Brewmaster into like Green Suns for hoof line. Because I have this one. I have Ink Shield, where if you had tried to hoof me,
Oh,
I would be very happy, because I would have been preventing all combat damage and then making like 61 ones.
the unluckily for me, I actually would have just been brewmastering into Walking Ballista into winning the game. So
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, that would have been better.
I guess you kind of like have me here if I don't have like if you kill my Atraxa, I just die, right?
Yeah, I think you're dead in the air to me killing your Atraxa. That's correct. I don't
Well,
have that many ways to do that though. I
I
will.
should have thought of Ink Shield because you've been talking about it
I know this has been
for the past like 4 days.
my pet card. I'm like completely obsessed.
I mean, it was incredibly good here. Like, it actually gave you an avenue to win the game in a game where I think you're
Basically
basically
dead.
dead,
Yeah,
right?
I
Like,
agree. Okay, so what do my attacks look like right now? If I attack with all my flyers, you take uh 15, but you gain 7, so you're at 8 at the end of all of that. And then obviously like you have other
When I
blockers.
take
Oh no, yeah,
13,
you
I
take
take
13, yeah,
13
because
because
you
I
get to block one
block.
of the inklings. That's right.
Yeah, which means I take 6.
Yeah. Okay, so just attack isn't the line, I don't think. I have a draw spell in my hand, and I'm just trying to decide whether I want to Shorikai first. I guess I think I do. Um, oh, I
Yeah,
probably
you can't get anything back with Storm Chaser's talent that matters.
no, yeah, exactly. Okay, so I will start with Shorikaiing, and we will.
From my
Ooh,
perspective, that seems correct because like it costs 1 mana versus whatever your draw spell is. If it's more than one, then
yeah. I drew an interesting one. Um, wow, weird game. Uh,
weird. Yeah.
so, huh. Okay, so.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm
Yeah,
not
okay, I'm just
excited
gonna
for
do
it.
it. I'm just gonna put this spell in the stack and we're gonna figure out how this works.
Oh, I see. Okay, sure. Yeah,
Okay, so I drew Indomitable Creativity, which kills Atraxa, uh, and upgrades one of my tokens into uh, a new thing. So this is the jig is up. I you now know
yeah.
that
Okay,
I'm
so
I'm
I am
polymorphing.
dead unless I hit,
Yeah.
which I
Ooh.
didn't. Okay,
Okay,
you
so
got
I did
me.
get there.
Oh, you got Archon? Oh, this deck's polymorph. That
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
way more.
exactly. So the jig is
I
up.
was
I
like,
I am polymorph.
yeah,
That is what I'm
yeah,
doing. This is what all
yeah.
the tokens are about, and the weird control cards, and the reason you haven't seen a single real creature.
Well,
Um,
if I
huh?
it's interesting because if I knew the deck was polymorph, I would have went for Brewmaster, but because I didn't know it was polymorph, I decided to like quote unquote play it safe. But Ink
Yeah,
Shield did win you the game there.
it was sick.
Um,
This card's so good. I'm obsessed. Uh, I think it's
People
really
attack
sick.
for a lot nowadays. Like
Yes.
in
Uh,
the past, people would chip away at you with their stupid like 3 mana 3/3s or whatever, but now people are killing you with like 2 mana 4/5s and 3 mana 7/7s. I know these are made up numbers, but if that's what it feels like a lot of the
I
time.
mean, it's just not that uncommon to be getting attacked for like 10 damage. Like that's not or 8 damage or 6 damage. And like any of those numbers, if you get to ink shield them, you're probably winning the game. Um
Yeah, and like one thing I think about with Ink Shield where like it might not be being considered by other people is you also don't have to block, and that really changes combat math from your opponent's perspective because like when they attack a lot of the time they assume there are forced blocks.
yeah.
And when forced blocks don't happen, the dynamic of your race changes so drastically
Yep.
that um, Ink Shield not only gives you more power, but even in situations where someone's attacking for 5, but they feel like they are making you block with 1 or 2 creatures, and you Ink Shield them,
Yeah.
like your swing back on them is so unexpected that you'll win a lot of games like off of the back of that specifically.
Absolutely.
Um, so yeah, I think Ink Shield is like I haven't played it yet, and 5 mana is quite a steep cost. Like,
It
and
is.
I'm sure in
Obviously it's
certain
not
metagames
cheap.
it wouldn't work, but
Yeah.
like I don't know at YJ for example, when people are trying to hit you with big dumb creatures, like just get them.
Yep. All right, shall we go to game 2?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I will I'll submit and not sideboard and then we can talk about mulligans. That
All
was a sweet
right.
game 1 though.
That was really sweet. Yeah, yeah. All right.
All right.
Okay, so Wirewood Hive Master. So this hand's really good if I draw another land. Or not. Well, it has like a lot of inevitability. It might not actually be that good in this matchup. I don't know how fast Polymorph is. I don't think Endurance interacts favorably with it at all. I think I kind of want to keep this hand because I'm on the play. I don't think Polymorph is really that fast. I think they're like a turn 4 deck. So I get to like turn 2 Hive Master, turn 3 maybe kill one of their like, random artifacts or enchantments. Then I'm like Court of Calling-ing potentially. I think this hand's keepable. Also, the Endurance can make me an extra mana with Court of Calling if I like really need it. It's possible I need something faster in this matchup, although I haven't played it though. So.
Oh man, I didn't think about the Brewmaster line. That's interesting. I thought I was winning with the Ink Shield for sure if he had a lethal line. I forget how big Hazel's Brewmaster is. If it has 3 toughness or less, I could have used the Storm Chaser's talent to get back Lightning Bolt to save myself. I think. But okay, what does this hand do? This hand casts a Polymorph on turn 4, which I think is probably just something I'm signing up for. Maybe based on how my lands shake out, I could even get a token out of this Dwarven Mine and try and go for a either like an Indomitable Creativity or a Chaos Mutations to have 2 creatures, which I think against Trent's deck I will probably need 2 creatures to win. Hand's a little low on interaction, which is a bit scary, but this Mystical Tutor can also be Terminus, so I think this is a pretty easy keep, actually, the more I think about it. Hello, you kept a 7.
Hello. I did keep a 7.
Oh, with no turn 1 elf, though.
I think it may be suspicious. I'm not sure how fast the Polymorph deck is. My suspicion is that it's a turn 4 deck, but yeah. I am unsure, so I'm playing a hand that might or might not be good based on what I feel like the Polymorph deck brings to the table.
Okay, so I think I do just want to get... I have that color combination covered, so I think I'm just going to get this and cast a opt off of this volcanic island. All right, Glimmer Burst is probably a little slow.
I thought you were going to kill that Wirewood Hive Master I played.
I mean, it's not alive yet.
You kept off your opt? Is that what happened?
No, I bottomed.
Okay.
Yeah. The card was not good enough, I think. Interesting. The sequencing of how you play lands in this deck is really weird.
Are you playing the full 5-color?
No, I don't have any green cards. I've thought about trying to build the deck with green cards. Like, it's definitely not terrible. Like, I could definitely see doing it, but I haven't done it yet. I was trying to, when I was brewing this deck, I was also looking at brewing like versions where you just like created created like a bunch of game objects and then tried to like tinker or polymorph into the 6 mana artifact that turns all non-creature artifacts into 4/4 flyers, like the hoof.
Oh sure, yeah, the Cyberdrive card.
Yeah, Awakener, yeah. Cyberdrive Awakener, yeah. But I decided that was not, there weren't enough good engines, and like just making tokens is just so much better.
That's fair. All right, I'm sending in this Hive Master.
Yep, you got me. I've been hived.
And we're untapping it.
Yep.
And then we're passing.
That's suspicious.
I wouldn't worry about it if I was you, personally.
Yeah. You would assume no ill will.
I would assume the best, if I'm being honest. All
right, well, 2 can play at that game.
Oh, I see. So this is an interesting decision point. So I'm going to be casting this Court of Calling, and I can cast it for 2. But the question is, what do I get? I think I'm supposed to get Priest of Titania would be my guess, but I don't actually know. So let's start casting it here.
Yeah, just get a look inside the library. I'm gonna let this resolve. That's fine.
Let it resolve. Let it resolve, he says. Priest of Titania, make a lot of mana. Leaf Crown Visionary, kind of fake here. Could just get Devoted Druid. Okay, that doesn't work how I want it to. Dwynen's Elite. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to get Priest of Titania.
And you're gonna make an insect. Okay, so Dwynen's or Priest of Titania makes 3 mana right now.
So true.
All right, yeah, you got it.
Interesting. So Priest makes 3. Quarian Ranger makes that 6. I have a feeling I'm getting Wrathed, which is a bad feeling.
It's not a feeling you like.
Well, since you're a deck that doesn't play any creatures other than really expensive ones, my assumption is that you play some Wrath effects. That
seems like a good assumption.
Yeah, I feel like that's a reasonable place to end up. So let's
safe guess probably.
Let's start with this. Start by doing that. Okay, so I have 4, 7, 8, 9 mana, which means I can play. I could play this into this. I feel like if I'm getting Wrath, I'm just not that happy. Just not a happy guy getting Wrathed. So I can play. I'm thinking of playing Eternal Witness and getting back Court of Calling. And if I do that, then I get to chord for how much? Play Eternal Witness. I'm 1 mana, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I could technically chord for 8. Which is pretty enticing.
Like chord for Atraxa.
Yeah, like, but even Atraxa, if you Wrath me, it's like not even that good. But I do have Beast Whisper in hand, so I could Beast Whisper and then play Eternal Witness and then hold up Court of Calling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that. Let's get some card draw going here. Oh, I guess I have Wirewood Hive Master too, so every elf I make makes this chord cheaper.
Yeah. Or just makes it better.
It does make it better. And this Priest taps for 4 now, so let's play this Eternal Witness, get our card draw from the Beast Whisperer.
Eternal Witness, mercifully not an elf.
Yeah. Luckily for some of us. So now I have 1, 2, 3, access to 3 mana plus 7 creatures. So I actually could just Court of Calling for Atraxa anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 1 short. Oh, I could. Do you how many counter spells do you have? There's no way you have that many. I'm just going for it. Wait, no, I can't go for it. It doesn't kill you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is
the
worst.
Ink shields are down currently though. So,
that's true. You can't Ink Shield me. That's a big point. It's a big moment. Okay, we're just gonna start Court of Calling for. It's got to be Atraxa, right? I don't know.
I think so.
I'm just gonna send it.
If you're worried about getting Wrathed, I think that's probably the right call because this at least like rebuilds your hand.
Yeah,
but...
I could Undermountain too if I'm worried about. No, it's got to be Atraxa. Just refill the hand. Get me some lands.
Deal.
Oh.
They got you.
Interesting.
Ooh,
okay.
Abrupt Decay. Removal spell. That's terrifying.
Okay, well, the sorcery and the enchantment are free. Undermountain's definitely good.
Yeah, get that one
Abrupt
easily.
Decay seems extremely fake against this deck. That the only threats I really care about are like Omega Giga Big. Although wait, I could decay. I could decay a smaller
Yeah, you
creature that
could.
you're trying to polymorph, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Removal spells do actually work against polymorph. It's like the
yeah.
one kind of crappy thing about the deck is that like you're a combo deck that doesn't turn off removal spells.
Okay, I'm gonna take all of these, and
Sylvan
then
Library, Strip Mine, Finale, Undermountain, Abrupt Decay.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I thought about
Well,
taking like a regular forest, but this is a pretty cracked. What is this? Turn 4?
it's a good turn for sure. Okay, I'm gonna cast this Mystical Tutor
Oh
and get
no, the
and get the
Terminus.
yeah, I get the Terminus.
Yeah, perfect.
um, which I think honestly, like, it's not that bad for you. Like, you have 7 cards in hand. You have a lot of resources here, so like, I don't think the Terminus is that bad. But
No, it's not the worst.
I was trying to
I'm also
find
gonna get to strip you if I want, which is kind
yeah,
of nice.
yeah, exactly. There's it also like is relevant that this actually puts the Atraxa like back in your deck for purposes of
For
yeah,
future searching.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I thought about getting Grist, but I think Grist is too slow. Like, I just don't think that
Yeah,
Grist is ever like getting there.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It also doesn't generate like that much value, I guess. Like I don't know if this is necessarily a matchup about generating value either. Okay, so I am getting strip mined. I think I will float a red mana in response.
I think I'm kind of priced into stripping you here.
I'm gonna
Cycling.
cast Occult Epiphany with the floating mana.
I see.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna discard this Dwarven Mine, and I actually had this Force of Will that I don't know, it didn't feel like the line. Like I could
Yeah, you
have.
probably never needed to. Like
Well,
if you knew you had Determinus, right?
yeah, it was just like I don't know. Like there's maybe an argument for forcing the chord and then terminusing the
Oh
rest
my
of the
god.
board.
I skipped to my end step, but I wanted to play the Sylvan Library.
Oh
But
no.
maybe it's better for me because maybe you do actually have the polymorph. I just wanted to give you 0 respect.
I mean, you have a Abrupt Decay in hand. So. Now I have
That's
to.
what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
but
You're
I
saying
can't just hold up this decay the whole game.
8 cards in my bin. Okay, I'm gonna fetch. Go get. What am I getting here?
Maybe
Oh,
a good Atraxa replacement is like Regal Force. Although I will say, if I had access to Primeval Titan there, I would have rather gotten Primeval Titan.
yeah, Titan would have been much better. I'm honestly, I'm a little surprised that Titan isn't in the deck. Oh, actually, you know what? Because I'm polymorph and I can't have Snapcaster Mage in my deck, what I exile kind of doesn't matter to this treasure cruise. I was like, Snapcaster targets. Yeah, must think about it. But then I realized
Mm,
it literally doesn't matter. Okay. I drew a good one. I'm gonna cast this Demonic Tutor
sure.
and go get something. Um, so
Yeah, I really wish I had played that Sylvan Library. Although I didn't know that Sylvan Library was in this deck, mind you.
yeah.
And I think this card is horrible. Not saying that the deck designer is bad or anything. I think for whatever reason, Sylvan Library in my hands is like unbelievably bad.
Uncastable garbage.
It's the worst. Like I hate Sylvan so much. I cannot stand the card. There's something about it that just like does not work with me. I don't know what it is, but so it's probably totally fine in this list. Probably really good in fact.
Yeah,
Uh but I hate it. I can't handle it.
but it's not a card for you.
I've got some problems.
I'm a
Mainly,
little. Are you not? I'm surprised you didn't fire off the Abrupt Decay here, but I guess you're hoping to save it to maybe break up a combo.
oh lord. Yeah, I really needed to cast this Sylvan last turn.
Oh no.
It's okay. We're doing it this turn.
Okay, pretty good.
Well, well, the thing is like I'm not winning the game where I just hold up Abrupt Decay, and even though you've DT'd, I like basically have to hope that you messed up your search, I think. Like,
Hmm.
I don't think there's any way that I can win this game if I don't play out this Arbor Elf and like jam this Sylvan. Um, I really needed the third land. It's possible I shouldn't have strip mined you, but uh,
Hmm.
it felt right in the moment.
I think that's fair. I think that it made sense. Just because you know that my combo takes. Oh, whoops! I am tapping wrong. Jesus. Sorry. Spaghettiing all over my combo here. Okay.
Emrakul.
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna
one.
swords this elf
All
to
right.
hopefully.
I'll give this one to you.
Okay.
Well, I am pretty sure that I can't win at that
I
stage.
DT'd for chaos mutation just because it says any, so it gets around abrupt decay. But then you,
Oh, interesting.
and
I've never
then
seen that card.
it's sweet. I can tell you.
Chaos mutation.
Yeah, so it's exile any number of target creatures controlled by different players, and then it polymorphs, and it's an instant. It costs 5. So
Hmm.
instant speed polymorph is nice, and any is a way to get
Any is a
around.
big deal.
Yeah,
That seems like a big deal.
yeah. So it's a way to get around the to way to get around removal. Well, this
Well,
is
also
sweet.
like you might play against, like, if you're the removal spell deck playing against polymorph, you might take lines where you're like, oh, I'm good because I have like a removal spell against their polymorph,
Hmm.
and then like you just play your fifth land and play that card,
Yeah, and then
and they like
you get
lose.
chaos mutation.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was sweet. I think both those decks are very cool. I was lucky to have the mystical tutor in game 2 because my deck is actually pretty low on wraths, lower than I think you maybe would want to be potentially. I valued having like more like 1 mana interaction over the big wraths just because I think that it's actually
I
more
don't hate
common.
that.
I think you just die to
Yeah,
like Barrogoyf a lot of the time, and it's
I
like
agree.
I'd
Yeah,
rather just
yeah.
like have a way to kill Barrogoyf or have a way to kill like other annoying 2 and 3 mana threats rather than planning on getting up to 4 and casting a wrath. Like by the time I get up to 4, I'm kind of hoping to be doing something explosive myself. So
Yeah, I think one thing that was pretty interesting in this game that we get to point to that I don't think you experience a lot in Lander is like, I didn't know what you were on, and that lost me the game, right?
mhm.
And I think in a lot of Lander scenes, like, people have their deck or maybe their like subset of decks, and you can like kind of put them on one of those. Like,
Yeah. Like you sit down
uh,
across from them and you say, I'm playing against combo. I'm playing against this combo even specifically. Like you know that they
yeah,
are
yeah. Like when
a
I was
storm
playing
player.
Hoof, like when I was playing only Hoof, and
Oh
you
my
sat
god.
across from me,
Yeah.
you got to like pick your hands basically.
You
Like
would
you
like
got to know what was good and what
you
wasn't.
would like mulligan
Um,
sevens that were bad just because they would you knew or mulligan sevens that were good, but you knew they wouldn't be good against Hoof, so you would just mulligan them.
exactly. So then, in this situation, like, because I didn't know exactly what you were on, that like led to me taking a line that led to you winning the game, which I think is pretty interesting. And I
Hmm.
think if you are a person who is playing in a Canlander scene, it is worth considering trying other archetypes to get yourself to the point where people don't know what they're playing against initially,
Yeah.
because they might even keep hands that aren't that good against you. Recently, I was winning a lot with Jeskai at Monday Night Highlander, and then I showed up with Flash Hulk like for a couple weeks, and multiple times my opponents would be like, "Oh, I kept a hand against Jeskai, and I didn't keep a hand that's good against combo,"
Yeah,
and
and then I got flash hulked.
yeah, exactly. And I think the best example of this is actually Jer, because when Jer was playing like a ton of in-person Lander, he owned every card, and he would show up with every archetype. Like, the
Yep.
guy has a win at a Monday night with Seinfeld. Like, so when you sit across from Jer, you basically, like, the way that you evaluate your hands has to change, and that means that you actually lose percentage points in matchups on average because you have no idea what you're playing against. So, if you're like, I think if you have the space to, it is worth like checking out what other archetypes could potentially work for you, so that you gain that like flexibility. But I mean, it doesn't matter like that much. Like, I'm talking it up, but it is like it's pretty small. Like you still
These
like,
are small
yeah,
percentage points that you're gaining. Yeah.
it can matter some though. Like there are some hands, especially if your opponent's playing a mid range deck, that are completely unkeepable depending on the archetype you're playing. Like if you're playing Jessica and your hand is 3 lands, Lightning Bolt, Brotherhood's End, a card draw spell, and like another removal spell. If you know you're playing against combo, that hand is completely abysmal and you need to get rid of it, right? But
Yeah.
if you knew you're playing against Hoof, you would snap keep it because it kills their first like 7 threats or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this it was very very interesting. I haven't lost to Inkshield before, which was cool and new, and I think it was a cool showcase for something that you've been talking a lot about that I haven't really like gotten to experience myself. But then also, it was interesting to like lose a game because I didn't know what you were on, and I think that's
Yeah. Yeah.
like really cool to showcase. Even though it ultimately didn't work out for me, but these decks are sweet, and thanks
Yeah.
to the person I played against who showed me this Elves list. I think it's really cool. The
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but so you know how like Elves play Shaman of the Pack?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they got a new one. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Skemfar Shadow Sage. Uh, so it says whenever this creature enters, choose one. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common,
Oh my
or you
God.
gain X life. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
there's a second Shaman of the Pack, which is kind of sick.
So there's just two ways to kind of burn people out.
Yeah, because I think your first Shaman is almost always like not enough, you know?
Yeah, it's like dealing like 7 or something, and then you're
Yeah, like 7 or 8 or whatever. But your second Shaman, like, that's
that's
like
the
the
one that
second Thrag
really
Tusk.
puts him in the grave.
Totally.
Yeah, I think the one other thing I would say is like with a card like Ink Shield, like obviously it does cost 5. There's going to be metas where it's bad, but it is interesting too. Like you were talking about having like kind of advantage gained by being on a rogue deck. I also think there's value in just like sometimes playing these like very swingy high power level cards that maybe you don't keep it in your deck every week, but like if you get someone with Ink Shield once, they're gonna
Oh
think about it for the
my.
rest of their life, right? So like,
Totally.
and so it like fundamentally, like maybe they make a weird attack 3 weeks later because you left 5 mana open because you drew a land, like your hand has nothing, but they attack differently because they're dead to Ink Shield and you've done it to them before. Um,
Yeah, that's like Settle the Wreckage, like back in
yeah, yeah. There's
like the
like there's
older
there's
days.
levels.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, cool. Well, this was a sweet one. I had a lot of fun, obviously. Getting to show off the old
So good.
polymorph deck. This deck gets a couple new cards too with Tarkir Dragonstorm, so I'm excited to add those ones in and try that out. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below if you want to see more of either of these decks. I'm sure that JR and I are both, or Trent and I, sorry, we're both very happy to play any of them. I mean, JR would probably play either of these decks as well, to be honest. These both are pretty far up his alley. But yeah, thanks so
Totally.
much for watching, and we'll see you next time.